Well, we're on the Arizona Trail again. Little chain cholla forest going on this morning. Kind of neat to see. I kind of like it, actually. I kind of like it. You wouldn't want to give any one of those things a hug. In fact, you don't even want to touch one. Granny was cruising around this morning and she accidentally, these things they shed onto the ground, right? That's how they propagate themselves. So they drop a little piece of that, see the chain? They drop those little pieces on the ground and then they lay there, and if there's enough moisture they root and they make a new cactus. Well, she stepped on one this morning, and by the time it was done it crawled all the way back up her ankle. Yeah, it wasn't good. She was getting stuck with cactuses, but we got it out. It was fine. Had a little bit of an interesting thing. It was windy last night. Of course, the wind is flopping the tent around. I couldn't really hear good, and I thought I heard an animal out there in my stuff, so I smacked the tent and I got out and looked and couldn't see nothing, and I kept thinking I was hearing stuff in the tent, outside the tent, but then eventually I just fell asleep and slept it off. And woke up in the morning and my tent and my walking poles were not where I put them. They'd been drug about 3 or 4 feet someplace else. And went over there to look. I'm pretty certain it was a porcupine. I couldn't tell, obviously, exactly what it was, but something had chewed part of the handle off of one of them and had chewed the wrist straps off of both of them, especially right at that spot where they cross the top of your hand when you're holding onto them. And of course that's all sweaty. I was thinking it was a porcupine ate my trekking poles. We thought about it and thought, well, man, maybe what we should have did was stuck them in the tent, so the darn porcupine doesn't eat them. And then I thought, man, he'd have chewed a hole through the side of the tent to get to that, probably. Now we might have noticed, but then the tent would have been ruined. And those trekking poles have been used last year. They're pretty wore out. So, but yeah, we had that's actually my very first negative animal trail experience on the Arizona Trail. And now I'm right now on the trail itself. I'm at about 930 miles if you count last year and this year. So I got a few miles. Not really any negative experiences. Never had a mouse even get into my stuff, as far as I know. But yeah, woohoo! Nice morning. It's chilly out here. I bet it's probably about 35 or 40. 35 or 40. You can, if you look way over there. Yeah, right there. There's a mountain in the distance. That's called Mount Lemon, which sits basically just northeast. Yeah, just northeast of Tucson. A lot of snow up there. Talked to a guy the other day, tried to go up there, and he said, yeah. He said I gave up because I didn't have my crampons, he said. There's a bit of snow up there right now. So we've probably got altogether about, I don't know, we're gonna do 3 more days to finish up this section north of the Gila River, south of the Gila River. And we got a 4-day section north of the Gila River. Pretty much are all the lowland sections that we're in shape enough to do. So that's kind of our plan at this point. And then we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the hacienda and spend, until that snow melts. We're gonna spend time until that snow starts to melt and it's safe to go up there. Probably only got about, I don't know, 5 miles left to go this morning. And then we'll take off and go over to Oracle and do a little shopping at the dollar store. And then head for Kearney, Arizona, right on the Gila River. Be the lowest point, or very nearly the lowest point in the whole trip. So we're getting all that low ground done. Man, you wouldn't want to be there in the middle of the summer. Gee, Merry Christmas. I bet you that's 120 degree country right there. It's nice to be there in January. Nice to be there in January.
Well, good morning from the Black Hills section of the Arizona Trail. Got up very early this morning. I really like being able to walk for about 45 minutes or an hour in the dark and then watch the sunrise, and we get some miles in before it gets hot. Now, we're doing this, I think it's January, it's the end of January, I'll just put it that way. It is the end of January, so it's nice and cool, and this is one of the hottest and driest sections of the trail normally for through hikers. So I'm happy to be doing it when it's cooler. We've got basically 3 days planned down to the car. Got to get through this rocky stuff. And then the car will hop up and we'll have 3 days back down to the Taj. It's amazing how luxurious the camper is now after camping on the trail. My body, I feel like I'm doing fairly well. The whole pain is weakness leaving the body. It seems to be leaving in several places, but back and knees. My right knee is still giving some fits, but it's in different places. So I'm taking it that it's just getting stronger. Did 8 miles yesterday, planning on 10 today. So that's some pretty good miles for me. We had such a fun little experience yesterday. We were sitting in the camper and there was at a trailhead at American Ranch, actually. Trailhead. We're just, getting things ready for our next, what we call a set. And there was a gal outside the camper and she's waving at us. Daryl went out. It's someone who had followed our videos last year. So that was really fun to get to meet her. And she had followed our Meanwhile Back at the Camper stuff, Mom and I. And I just happened to have one more of Mom's cookbooks with me. And so I was able to give her a cookbook. I was super excited about that. And we had her pictures taken. It was almost like being a celebrity for a second. So, shout out to Honeybee. It was really fun to meet you. And another hiking gal told us about some great trails. We kind of switched some stories, so that was really fun. And let's see, rest of the day we were basically moving the camper around. So drove up through Mammoth and Dudley, got propane and filled up water. So Daryl's getting to see kind of what it was like to be Meanwhile Back at the Camper last year. And I am getting to see what it's like to be Mr. Sky on the trail. So pretty fun. I'm just, man, what a privilege. I am so excited to be able to get to do this. It's just, been good. I'd say nerve-wise, this section is one of the scarier for me because water's a little few and far between. So Daryl's, my Sherpa, has got it all scoped out, and I'm sure we're gonna be fine. But yeah, but it is gorgeous. I mean, look at this antelope hill, and we've got just tons of cholla, cactus. It is just spectacular. Spectacular. Birds this morning. What a deal. So yeah, that's the trail report from the Black Hill. It's trail break time. The important part is a view and a rock with the little pad. Very nice. And what you got for a snack, buddy?
I think I have a nut bar.
Oh yeah.
Kirkland nut bars.
You know what? We're liking these Kirkland nut bars.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. They are 200 calories, so more than Kind bars. They got a variety of nuts and seeds, and yeah, they go down real easy, and they're light. Nice. Sitting down for a break, and yeah. Oh, it's been a good day today. Yesterday was rough. I like the cowboy hat style of wearing these floppy hats, even if it does have a weird little doodah in the front. The floppy hats make me feel like I have blinders on. No, thank you. So, yesterday was rough. I had something going on with one hip, and I'm thinking it might be the Osprey pack. Daryl and I switched, and I'm back in the Duder, my Duder. And Daryl's carrying his Osprey. We figured out how to get things switched last night. And I don't know, I think my hip is feeling a lot better. It's almost like it was riding on a nerve. It was yucky. Yesterday was rough. It was a rough day on the trail. Today's feeling much better.
Well, we are walking the Black Hills section of the Arizona Trail. I'm not sure what passage it is, but tootling along. I got about 2.5 miles to go to a water source. And basically for us, at the speed we're going, we got about more than a day and a half water carry for us. So we're going to have to pack on a few liters. But we're doing good. It's actually kind of it's an adventure. This is a super pretty spot. That's why I decided to get all these, well, I think they call them chain cholla is what they call them. If you'll notice that they got little chains of stickers hanging down off the bottoms. Unfortunately, they fall off all the time in the trail. You got to be careful not to step on one or kick one because it'll stick right through your shoes. Woohoo! Don't want to do that action. So anyhow, yeah, that's what we're doing today. It's kind of exciting, you know. It's kind of fun. Granny and I did a switch yesterday on backpacks, which is kind of good. I'm doing good. I want to show you this chain cholla just because it's kind of interesting. I'll walk down here and give you a look at it. Be careful not to step on one. So if you look here, there's the plant, and it starts dropping these little chains down below it. And then if you bump one of them darn things, it falls off on the ground. If you look down there, see, it's all growing all over the place. That's how it reproduces, is them little chains. Well, unfortunately, of course, they drop any old where they can, you know. You gotta be really careful not to step on one, which is, yeah, it's cool. It's a fun part of the Arizona Trail. Of course, you got big old saguaros growing back up there, and Palo Verde. That's this little guy right here. I'll show you. That's Palo Verde. They call it green stick because it's green. It's green all over the place. It's a pretty cool plant. Then of course you get nasty old cat claw. This stuff here, whoa, like that's like the worst of all. But there's not much of it here. Now this one's kind of interesting. You see how it's purple? There's actually two kinds of it growing right there. These actually are what they call tree cactuses, as far as I know. Now there's all kinds of things that could be different, but those things can grow when they're in a really good environment that makes them happy. They can grow way, way higher than your head. They get big. And there's lots of stuff here to see. I wish I knew all about it. I wish I had a professional botanist with me on the trail I could ask questions about. The other thing I wish I had was a professional geologist with me, so that way I could ask questions about the rocks. I have quite a few needs in my life. I want all kinds of things. But you know what? I got what I got. And life is good. You know, we did nearly 9 miles yesterday, which is actually quite good. It's one of the longest days that Granny has did so far. Kind of picking it up here more and more miles now because we're getting some longer water carries. And the problem with carrying water is water is hard to carry, you know. It's heavy, so we don't want to. So we got to get her speed up a little bit, so we don't have to carry water quite so far. And we're working on that. And food's going good. My goodness gracious, having Granny along on the trail is really good for my eating. I'm eating way better than I was. It's probably bad for my gas consumption in my stove, but who cares? We'll get more gas. Can always do more gas. So yeah, she's doing really good. I think we're not 100% certain, but I think we're up to like our 18th day on the trail. We were trying to get her past 2 weeks, which we did. And now when we hit 3 weeks, 3 weeks of walking, I mean, you get a lot stronger. My goodness gracious, it's a good thing her pants have a big old chunk of elastic in them, because they would just fall off and go away at about this point. So she's losing lots of weight doing this. Of course she will. This is, you know, it's hard work. I mean, it's not hard work, but what it is it's a consistent amount of work, you know, that lasts for a long portion of the day. And basically you just about can't eat enough to pay for all that work. So, I mean, even I'm losing some weight, you know, which is, we were doing the, we were walking up this steep hill the other day at a place called Mount Wrightson, and we did a comparison of beats per minute on our hearts. That woman's running at 200 beats per minute going up that super steep hillside. We're talking super steep. That thing's 100 feet per tenth of a mile at points, which is, you know, really steep. And we compared her to me. She has a heart rate of 200 beats per minute, you know, and I'm like 25% less, or more than 25% less than she is. So she's working really hard out here on the trail, and have a lot of respect for her. And we have to get her another pair of pants here before long. Them ones may just fall off on the trail here. Yep, anyway, that's my 2 bits for the day. Talk to you later.
All right, Black Hills section. Doing good. We're second day on this passage. I thought one of the things I had to talk to you guys about is how we're actually doing the trail. I did some training beforehand, but really we're doing training on the trail. And because Sherpa Babe has done this trail before, he can kind of pick out the places that will train me the best. So one of the things that I personally deal with is a knee that gives problems. I have a rebuilt ACL that it was a mosh pit injury in my younger foolish days, and then kind of retweaked it later on in life when I was studying karate. So I have a knee that gives me fits. Uphill, I'm pretty strong. Downhill, man, it was super bad when we first started out. So in our car hopping, this is uphill. In our car hop idea, where we have the two vehicles, we can either go northbound or southbound on the trail. And we've been picking out the ones that will do the best training for me with my knee and other things. So we're super early where we get cool, which is nice, but and we're set up for cool. We're from Idaho, where we backpack. Sure. Sherpa Babe hands me the camera right when we got a gigantic hill. But we're training on the hill. So the way we're doing the Arizona Trail is a train on the trail sort of situation. And we're picking directions on the trail and sections to kind of meet my physical challenge. I was a gal who used to be in pretty good shape. So my physical conditioning has definitely been on the back burner. And I'm the sort of person, really, who likes to get in shape doing things, not just do something to get in shape. So I've got a trainer back there who's been helping with that and being patient. So it's worked out good, I think. All right, Sherpa Babe has picked out our spot for the night. We have had winds. Wow, did we have wind today? And I did my very first personal best, 10 miles. I think 10.3 today. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm gonna have me some recovery drink. And I'm gonna sit here for a second. Hopefully I'll be able to help with the tent. Well, good morning. We are on the last part of the Black Hills Passage, doing our last day here, and pretty exciting. Yesterday I did my first 10-mile day, and I actually carried some food for my Sherpa. I guess I'm in training of being independent, but yeah, it was a good but a hard day. Oh, the wind blew. It blew so hard. It was crazy. I will always remember the big mountain in this passage as the Windy Mountain. Now, supposedly it can even get worse than that, but thus far, that was my windiest day. So things are well. We had a great campsite last night because of the wind. We went down into the small wash. There's no rain in the forecast at all. No clouds even, hardly a few. And we got settled down in there where the wind was not too bad last night to sleep. So that was good. And today is so fun. Daryl and I, one of the ways that we got started on all of this was watching YouTube videos of thru hikers and then also ultra trail runners, just because that's amazingly inspiring. Well, today on this passage, they are doing a ultra marathon. Well, I don't know if it's called an ultra marathon, but anyway, they got a 50 miler and a 25 miler and then a 50K, I think, happening. So could be here pretty soon we will start running into trail runners. So that'll be kind of fun. See that on our last day of this section.